EagleNick audits. I am EagleNick, and I have received my consent form from the United States Senate. You will see the signature on the bottom, and they wrote their signature across the front of the envelope. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, EagleNick audits. Good afternoon, EagleNick audits, and I have received my consent form from the United States Senate to have them investigate the downtown Dalton post office where Postmaster Constance Long is holding up my mail, tampering with my mail. I have been waiting on a Cash App card for 60 plus days. Now you will see at the bottom of the paper where John Ossoff signed it, and here is his signature over the top of the envelope that it came in. Now I had to order this at 2 different addresses, and I am glad I did, because the one they mailed out to my regular address, the United States Post Office in Dalton, Georgia, Postmaster Constance Long has the audacity to hold that letter up, that consent form that I had sent to my normal address. They had the damn audacity to hold it up, trying to stop EagleNick audits from getting the justice he deserves, because the damn post office is choosing to tamper with EagleNick's mail. Now, I've been waiting on a Cash App card for over 60 plus days. I don't even know the exact amount of days it's been. I had to cancel that card and reorder another one and have it sent to the address that I had this consent form sent to, because Postmaster Constance Long chooses to tamper with my mail and hold my mail up. That Cash App card has been shipped for nearly 70 days now, if it has not been 70 days. If you live in the state of Georgia, here is the numbers that you can get in contact with if you need to get in contact with them about your mail being held up or your mail being stolen. If you've had checks being stolen, if you have had packages being stolen, this is who you will contact. Give me just a second. Now, like I said, the postmaster at the United States Post Office in Dalton, Georgia, has the audacity to think that she can stop mail coming from the United States Senate. Now, if I had not had a second form mailed to a different address than my regular address, I would have never received it. Now, Senator Ossoff, you know good and well that the lady I talked to said she was going to mail one out to my regular address and to the other address I provided, so that we could get evidence that they are tampering with my mail and holding my mail up. Now, like I said, my regular address at 1704, I did not receive this consent form. I only received it at the address, the second address I provided. Now, I know good and well if Postmaster Constance Long at the United States Post Office in Dalton, Georgia, had have known that I was having it sent to two addresses, that they would have just looked for my name and they would have stopped that letter also. But by the grace of God, the Creator who created all things, the consent form that y'all mailed to the second address I provided did actually get through. Both consent forms was mailed out on the same day, June the 20th. It took 6 days from the date on here that I received it. This is at the second address. My regular address to where the Cash App card is supposed to be shipping to, that they have held up for over 60 days, more like 70 days now, that I still have not received. The consent form that, hello, Calgary, I finally received a consent form at one of the addresses I had it sent to. My regular address, Postmaster Constance Long, stopped that mail from being delivered. I did not receive it. This is my state senator, John Ossoff's signature. And here you will see his signature across the front of the envelope that it came in. Now, this is from Washington, D.C., a United States Senate, a United States Senator. And yeah, Postmaster Constance Long had the audacity to hold up and stop the consent form that I had shipped to my regular address, the address where my Cash App card was coming. Little did she know that EagleNick is not stupid and figured that Postmaster Constance Long would be that dirty and do EagleNick, continue to do EagleNick wrong by denying me my rights, privileges, and services granted to every citizen of the United States of America. But like I said, they did stop the consent form, this same form here. They stopped it from coming to my regular address. And I made sure to note that on the consent form in my complaint. And the gentleman I talked to today at Mr. Ossoff's office told me to make sure to put that in there. And EagleNick wanted to do a live stream to let everybody know that he received it. But I am not going to send this out by the United States Postal Service. EagleNick has more sense than that. You see right here that you can send it by mail, email, mail, or by fax. Now, EagleNick is fixing to ride up on his bicycle in this excruciating heat to the office depot and have this faxed directly to Senator John Ossoff's office. Because EagleNick done knows that Postmaster Constance Long is a corrupt, crooked postmaster who steals people's mail, all because they exercise their First Amendment rights. The postmaster must hate the United States Constitution. EagleNick knows that she hates EagleNick, but Postmaster Constance Long, that is too damn bad. I told you that I would hold y'all accountable. The Select Committee on Intelligence. You can be for sure that she's never been on a committee of intelligence because she does not seem to be very smart to stop a damn consent form coming from the United States Senate. The Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs, the Committee on Rules and Administration, Committee on the Judiciary, Chair, Subcommittee on Human Rights and the Law. That is what she has violated, is my human rights. She's violated my constitutional rights. She's violated EagleNick's privacy rights. And so has the Dalton Police Department for filling out a damn trespass warrant against EagleNick by taking my name from my YouTube channel and my open records request to have EagleNick arrested on April the 18th. And then I went to first appearance on April the 19th, and my bond was reduced from $400 to a $50 cash bond. Had to be a cash bond. They would not allow EagleNick to bond out. They would not allow me to do an OR bond, an on recognizance bond. Yeah, I talked to someone about a week ago that is homeless here in Dalton, Georgia, that was charged with criminal trespass damage of $500 or less, as I was. Plus, they was charged with a second charge, and their total bond was over $1,100. It was $1,100 and some odd dollars. I don't remember exactly the odd number, but it was over $1,100. And this gentleman is homeless. Yet they let him make an OR, an on recognizance bond, being homeless on an $1,100 bond. That just goes to prove that my arrest was retaliation because of my audits of the United States Post Office and the Dalton Police Service Center. EagleNick had did a 20-something plus minute live stream from the Dalton Police Service Center before he had did the 2-minute and 47-second long video at the United States Post Office in downtown Dalton, which they said was the reason I was being arrested, because I was causing disruptions when I recorded in the evening when there was nobody there. For all of y'all that just got here, this is the consent form that authorizes my state senator, John Ossoff, to investigate the United States Post Office in Dalton, Georgia, about Postmaster Constance Long tampering with EagleNick's mail, stealing my mail flat out is more what it's like, because she chooses my Cash App card has been 70 days shipped and I never received it. I had ordered another card sent to a different address. It was shipped and received by me in 7 days. Now, Senator John Ossoff's office with the United States Senate sent 2 copies of this form to me. One to my regular address here where I live at 1704, and one to another address. Now, I did not receive the consent form that was coming to my regular address where Postmaster Constance Long is stealing my mail. Yes, sir, Calgary. They are feelings enforcement, not law enforcement. Because the postmaster's feelings were hurt, because I hurt the feelings of the Dalton Police Department, particularly the police chief Cason, Cliff Cason, they violated my First Amendment rights, my Fourth Amendment rights, and my 14th Amendment rights, and I'm pretty sure they violated my 8th Amendment rights. They will not be violating my 6th Amendment rights, which is I have the right to compel my witnesses to come forth and testify against me, and I get to confront them in court. Now, EagleNick is hoping that Judge Burt Poston in the Whitfield County Superior Court will be a fair and impartial judge and will see through all the bullshit, and he will dismiss the charges against EagleNick, because by Georgia law, the crime of criminal trespass, damage of $500 or less, is a person who knowingly stays on the property of another, and the $500 or less damage would mean that they did damage to said property. Now, EagleNick was not on private property. EagleNick was at the post office, which is public property, and EagleNick never committed the crime of criminal trespass. This is just to let you know, Postmaster Constance Long, that EagleNick told you he would hold y'all accountable, and EagleNick is taking it up as high as it has to go. And if need be, I will take it all the way to the United States Supreme Court. If EagleNick is convicted wrongfully of misdemeanor criminal trespass damage of $500 or less, a Class B misdemeanor, EagleNick knows his rights. Even on a misdemeanor, I will appeal it all the way up to the United States Supreme Court, which is the court that is superior in the United States. All other courts are inferior. That includes all appellate courts where you appeal, all the U.S. Circuit courts. They are inferior to the United States Supreme Court. EagleNick knows about the Supreme Court. EagleNick knows about the appellate courts. EagleNick knows the Constitution. He knows his rights. And EagleNick is tired of Postmaster Constance Long choosing to violate my rights. Like I said, if you live in Georgia and they are messing with your mail in any way, this is who you get in touch with. Senator John Ossoff. It is the United States Senate in Washington, D.C., and here is the telephone numbers. EagleNick Audits. I am EagleNick, and I'm going to go ahead and end this so I can head on up to the office depot and get this faxed and sent back to my senator, because I know not to send it in the United States mail, because Postmaster Constance Long has already proven that she is going to continue to violate my rights and hold up my mail. Now, Postmaster Long, this is your wake-up call, just to show you that you made a big damn mistake when you chose to violate my rights. EagleNick Audits. I am EagleNick. Y'all have a blessed day, and I'm out.